Hello friends, today I am talking about types of research articles and general format of research article. Types of research articles. In general, following are the main types of research articles that I am going to discuss that can be considered for publication. All leading research journals of the world, they publish these types of articles. The requirements and scope may vary journal to journal and based on publishing organization. Number 1, review articles. Submission of review articles, reviews and perspectives covering topics of current issues and interests are highly demanded by almost all publishers. In general, it is also seen that review articles may receive more citations as they contain critical discussions on the selected topic. These are related to experts and experienced researchers who have keen observations and up-to-date knowledge and future acquaintance with creative thinking, exceptionally better than others. The review article is expected to give information about the main aspects of research title, latest changes, significant gaps, dilemma involved, and advances in the selected title. Authors have to study details of all available papers and have to include their work in order to support their findings in a well-structured format to come ahead with an ideal review article. These articles deeply look into the latest research areas and the need for future developments in selected topics. These articles are written after detailed studies and may have variable style as per points, subpoints with more number of references quote in text. In general, these articles are lengthy but still focus on the title and no longer than 15 to 25 printed A4 pages in length. Second one is regular research articles. These are published on a large number throughout the world by almost all researchers and academicians of the world on frequent basis. It is the requirement of many institutes to give promotions and higher salaries to their research workers. These should describe and original, novel and carefully confirmed findings of the research. Experimental procedures should be supplemented with satisfactory proofs for the readers to verify and implement the further research in the same field. Such articles address a clearly stated specific hypothesis or current problem researched in scientific communities throughout the world, and work is carried out based on decided objectives. The length of a full paper should be minimum to specifically describe and understand the work carried out. Regular research articles are in general 10 to 14 printed A4 size pages in length and should contain no more than 6 figures, 6 tables, but this is not the rule and is variable. Third one is short communications. Short communication is suitable for recording the results of small but completed investigations or providing the details of novel models, theories, approaches, procedures or apparatus. As the name suggests, they represent a noteworthy contribution to the research field, the special result and novel topics from the core parts of it. Short communications may not necessarily to follow the style as required to write full-length research articles. Short communications are in general 3 to 6 printed pages A4 size in length. Fourth one is research note. A technical research note is a portion of the research content giving a brief explanation of a technique or procedure. It may be related to the modification or change in technique or modified procedure or instruments of interest to the scientific community. Research notes need not necessarily follow the style as required for full-length research articles. It should not be no more than 4 A4 size pages and could include a minimum of 2 figures and a table with at least 6 references, 10 references. Thus it is a small piece of work through small findings are most important. Number 5, letters to editor. Research letters sent by non-academic individuals can be considered for publication. In general, this section of journal is devoted to all those who are not engaged in regular scientific research but wish to express their views and opinions. Such letters may play a significant contribution to the research field with opinion and novel recommendations presented by the authors. Responsible citizens with a keen interest in the issues faced by our society can send such letters to publishers. In general, a deep review may not be carried out for such articles. Now I will talk about the general format of the research article. The manuscripts must conform to the guidelines of the journal and other requirements to maintain the quality of article. The manuscripts in general are published in English. The following are some important sections of it that I will tell you. Title page. It should have a title of the article, name of authors, all authors, affiliations, and a complete address with a number shown as subscript near to the surname of author. As a general rule, title should be precise, short, descriptive. It should not contain any abbreviations or subtitles. This page should also contain contact number, email, and postal address of the corresponding and other authors. Abstract. The abstract is a short and concise summary of the manuscript of not more than 250 to 300 words. Some journals may ask for the lesser word limit. It should be in a single paragraph and should be free of references and abbreviations. It should contain a brief description of the selected problems, methods followed, results obtained, and conclusions drawn. The abstract also indicates the novelty of the research work carried out. A well-written abstract always creates an initial impression for further review and also in the readers after publication. A good abstract can form the basis for the paper to be cited more in future. Introduction. It is a short review of recent literature with general background of the selected problem with current aspects. Gaps in knowledge, hypotheses, and objectives of the study it includes. It also contains a linkage with reported works. Generally, the introduction should focus on the relevant base behind study. It should explain the reasons behind the selection of topic for research interest. Next one is materials and methods. The authors should maintain concise but adequate information for other workers to replicate the experiments. They should explain in detail any new method or trial followed. The well-known and common methods need not to be mentioned in detail. This is not the requirement of many journals. If a modification in previously published methodology is carried out, then it should be explained in detail with a citation and mentioning a need to modify. Purposeful modification to show a vested interest in the scientific community is highly discouraged. It should also include experimental design as well as statistical analysis carried out, if any. Next part is results. The authors should point out the main results in past tense. The results should be presented in the form of text, figures, and tables. It is necessary to avoid the repetition of data already shown in one form. This part remains the heart of the manuscript and should be carefully presented. The important outcomes of research must be explained in detail. Statistical analysis of the data helps the readers to understand the fluctuations obtained in the results. Next part is discussion of the research article. This should be added in detail with close connectivity to the latest references for the selected topic of interest. Discussion includes exploration of obtained results by the authors in connection with already published work. The recent references of negative, positive, and neutral nature are well checked while carrying out the connection of obtained results. Next part is acknowledgement. It is the duty of authors to acknowledge agencies, institutes that have provided financial support, even those who have provided necessary help during the research. Name of all them must be acknowledged. Last part is references. Proper citation is an important aspect of any research article. It is the duty of authors to mention the latest references in the text and in the last part of the article. It is also necessary to avoid plagiarism related issues. In general, references are systematically arranged as per journal guidelines. Nowadays, there is standard software that can arrange these references in required format. The reference style of the Modern Language Association (MLA) or American Psychological Association (APA) is highly followed by leading publishers and universities of the world. Next part is that other important requirements that authors should follow before submission of article. Authorship and originality of the manuscript. Authorship is a final and clear way of handing over liability and giving acknowledgement for scholarly work. Authorship is very important to the scientific workers to earn an upright reputation among the scientific communities. Academic promotion and even to get funds from the various funding agencies. This is also an indication of research trends and status of the institute and researchers. It is very clear that those who have not contributed to shape the article should not be given authorship. The publishers also demand a copyright letter or cover letter from the authors. The corresponding author is responsible for all the editing instructions and overall management of the errors involved in submitted manuscript. Authors and co-authors must check the general guidelines that are provided by publishers. High accuracy and validity of the data must form the basis for submission of any type of research article. Submitted manuscript should contain novel and original results, data, and thoughts that are not submitted for other publications elsewhere. Authors should be very cautious about plagiarism issues and avoid them in the best possible ways. Nowadays, there are online software that can detect plagiarized contents. Plagiarism can be said to have undoubtedly occurred when a large number of portion or text has been used as it is and presented without any references. If such a case of plagiarism and conflicting situation arises, the author should immediately convey the message and dilemma to the journal editor. Such articles may be rejected immediately and should be removed from online platforms. Next part is language and readability of the articles. Most of the leading publishers of the world publish articles in English. In a true sense, all knowledge is converted into English as most societies and experts can understand it to spread the common message about newer tools and techniques that are followed in research. Authors should take care that papers are easy to read and understand. In addition, the paper should send a clear-cut message to the scientific communities. Authors can take help from other professional service providers to produce a precise and quality outcome. Poor English may cause rejection of the article even though authors have obtained good results. Cover letter. The authors have to attach a duly signed cover letter along with submission of a manuscript. They should prepare a cover letter as per the given format by the publisher. Submission of the cover letter indicates that all the other authors are agreeing to submit the manuscript on behalf of corresponding authors. All co-authors through mail are required to confirm the research work carried out. Next part is about font and size of the article and general requirements for it. The manuscripts are nowadays asked by authors to submit through online submission system. It asks them to copy paste the step-by-step written contents and upload at the end the attachments. Authors should submit articles in Microsoft Office Word file format. Manuscript should be typed on A4 size page, having single or double spacing and margins as per the journal style. Times New Roman format, 12 font size is expected in general by most of the publishers. For the main headings and titles, the font size should be more and it should be in bold. Subtitle should be in italic form. So do not capitalize the titles and subtitles. All text should be justified. Use single line spaces throughout the text in general with double spacing only at all new paragraphs. All pages must be numbered consecutively and should be presented at the right bottom of the page. Add line numbers to the manuscript from start to end in continuous format and do not reset the numbers on each page. The file size of the MS Word format should not exceed 10 MB size for submissions, and this is general requirement as an attachment over mail. If equations are used, it should be prepared using equation editor software. The requirements of the articles may differ based on the journal or publisher. Next part is about the abbreviations and units to be used. Abbreviations, symbols, chemical forms, biological nomenclature, etc. should be used correctly. Abbreviations used should be defined in the text as its initial use. Generally, units must be abbreviated and standard rotations should be used according to the International System of Units, SI units. For example, some commonly SI units used are meter in small m, kilograms small kg, minutes min, square meter is m square, etc. Never define the abbreviations in your own way. Authors should avoid the use of abbreviations which are uncommon. So, tables, figures, and images. Authors should avoid large and multi-part tables, figures, maps, and images. They should also send the figures and images in JPEG or TIFF format as required by the journal. Scanned figures, maps, or photographs should have a required and quality resolution of 300 to 600 dpi. It may be variable. The tables, figures, and maps should be inserted at appropriate positions in the running text, or they may be attached separately. Some journals may ask it attached separately. The title of the table should be bold and should not contain any text, box, or line drawings. Table width and cell size should be even and all the content should be centered. The author should give separate number to the tables and figures with short self-explanatory titles. Symbols and abbreviations should be defined in the legend. They must be numbered consecutively and should be mentioned in the text wherever necessary. The title should be part of the main text only and not of the image or figure. Use Arabic numbers in general to label the tables like 1, 2, 3, while for figures A, B, C, etc. Table number and table title should be at the top of the table, while the figure number and figure title should be given at the bottom of the figure. It is the duty of authors to check the data mentioned in table again and again. No changes to figures and tables are allowed by publishers after acceptance of the manuscript. References in the text and listing of references. Wherever citing a reference in text, it should be mentioned with the author's surname, and the year of publication is to be added in the text. The references quoted in the text can be brushed dark blue for instant identification. While reviewing a manuscript, the list of references should be arranged at the end of the manuscript, indicating all the citations used in the text. The references should be arranged in alphabetical order, starting with the author's surname and then alphabets showing a short form of initials. All journals have their guidelines to quote references from print research journals, electronic journals, websites, books, theses, and conference papers. List of suggested reviewers. The author should provide the list of at least 3 potential reviewers of the related field to speed up the review process. This is the requirement for many journals. They should provide names, email addresses, and official addresses of the suggested reviewers. Generally, publishers are not bound to the decision and opinions supplied in support or opposed to the manuscript examined by external reviewers. The latest studies have shown that this type of method of suggesting reviewers can definitely increase the chances of acceptance of the paper. Next part is about the permission for ethical use of animals. So manuscripts reporting involvement and research on animals and especially listed organisms must submit a statement from the answerable institutes. This should clearly state that the organisms have received human care according to the guidelines at the national or international level. It is expected that every institute has a license to conduct research on animal studies or have ethical committee as per government guidelines. Next part is about the article processing fees and mode of payment. The publishers may demand fees to publish the article. That is variable with journal to journal. Generally, open access articles are charged. Nowadays, various payment options are available for faster payment. Publishers may give the concession under certain conditions to authors. Such charges are beyond capacities for the authors who are from poor and developing countries. But nowadays, as per UGC guidelines, the publications in paid journals are highly discouraged. Such articles are even not considered while calculating academic performance at entry-level jobs or later promotions in central government institutes and also for further academic career development. It should be a habit for researchers to publish in leading and high-quality journals of the world which do not charge for publication. But on the other hand, the government should not only focus and give priorities to the foreign-based publishers. The government of India should come out with its own standards and practices of publication in journals of Indian origin with full support to publishers who are working from Indian soil. It is very necessary as it is all related to copyrights, patents, and share of ideas. The ideas and information generated by Indian institutes and their researchers must be fully utilized on priority basis for further development of our country. Thank you very much.